Tip number 1. Gathering tools and salvage kits. As crafting and gathering is a big part of Guild Wars 2, due to the XP you gain as well as all the useful items you can actually create, it is a good idea to start collecting the materials as early as possible. Firstly, you need to find a vendor that sells the appropriate items. There is always one in every starting area, but you might need to try a few before you find the right one. Now the items you need to buy are the crude salvage kit, the copper harvesting sickle, the copper logging axe, and the copper mining pick. The total of these comes to 1 silver and 4 copper. Once you purchase the items, you need to open your inventory and right click all 3 of the gathering tools and equip them individually. This will basically put them onto your hero's pane, as you can see here, and this is used for basically upgrading the gathering tools later on in the game. You don't need to worry about this right now. Now to use a salvage kit, double left click on it to activate, and then left click on the salvageable item, which is indicated with the tooltip, or on the piece of armor. Once you finish salvaging an item, you'll end up with collectibles, which are used for crafting. In Guild Wars 2, all gathering nodes are indicated on the minimap. It's a simple case of making your way over to the node, which are very common in most zones, and pressing the use key on them. As you can see, you get a substantial amount of XP for very little effort. This gathering also leads to further XP reward when you start crafting using the materials collected. Tip number 2. Inventory management. In the corner of your inventory, right under the X, is a cogwheel for options that is very understated but couldn't be more valuable. Show hide bags essentially shows your inventory space as one large surface area, or alternatively splits it up according to your individual bag sizes. Compact does exactly what it says, it compacts your inventory. And now onto the most important function, depositing collectibles. Deposit all collectibles moves everything classified as a collectible in your inventory and moves it into a storage in your bank. Now this can be done from anywhere in the game, which really makes this function very valuable because it clears up any clutter in your bag space, as well as not losing anything which you could potentially use for crafting later on in the game. To access the items you've deposited, simply go to a major city and go to the bank vendor. Once the bank window is open, click on the left hand side where it says collections and you'll see all the items you have deposited. Tip number 3. Investing in bag space. Now a common mistake is that players will normally stack up with 4 slot bags at 32 copper apiece when they find the first vendor that sells them. What you should in fact do is don't buy any bags to start with, then once you get a couple of silver you head to a trading post and buy 8 slot bags. They are cheaper than you would think, and you can easily get kitted up with 4 8-slot bags. For example, here we have the 2 cheapest options of the bags, the 8-slot jute bag, which is from tailoring, and the 8-slot rawhide leather pack, which is from leatherworking. There is also a blacksmithing option, but these are normally more expensive. Now it's a simple case of selecting the cheapest option and buying 4 of them. Once you purchase the items, simply go to the pickup tab on the left hand side, click take all, and then the items would have been moved to your inventory. Then it's simply a case of equipping the bags and you're all set. Tip number 4. Easy access to Lion's Arch. All you need to do is press H to access your hero window. On the left hand side click the PvP tab and click on the Go to the Heart of the Mists button. There will be a short load time and then you'll end up in the Heart of the Mists, which is the staging area for all the PvP battles. Now the first time you do this it will look different to this, but simply keep going forward and head to the Azura Gate. One more short loading time and then you'll be in Lion's Arch. When you get to Lion's Arch, you'll be in the PvP Azura Gate section, and you need to get to the Gate Hub Plaza Waypoint, which is the PvE Azura Gate section. I'm just going to teleport there since I have the waypoint. And once you get there, it's simply a case of selecting which racer starting zone you want to go to, and this is indicated by the race of the guards which are standing by the Azura Gate. As you can see, this is a human one, goes to Divinity's Reach. Over there is the Safari. Here's the Azura. The Char's just to the left hand side, and then lastly here's the Norn. Tip number 5. Disable double tap to evade. Now for some bizarre reason this is enabled as default and it simply is not a practical function. Let me just enable it so I can show you what it does. To get to the options screen you can either press escape and click on options, or you can simply press F11. Now if I double tap to any direction, I will evade jump into that direction. For example, I'll double tap to the right, I'll jump evade to the right, double tap to the left, jump evade to the left. Now why you want to disable this is if you're doing an intricate movement such as moving forward and in a direction such as right, and you need to evade in that same direction, you'll need to take your finger off the key and double tap, which will cause a stutter step. If you bind the key to say a mouse button as I have, say mouse button 5, you can press the mouse button while completing an intricate move and not have any stutter or pause in your movement. Let me just disable it again just to show you what I mean. As you can see I can move in whichever direction I choose and evade in whichever direction I choose, and it'll still keep the movement fluid. This helps out a ton in PvE and especially in PvP, as you'll discover later on. Anyway, that's all the tips I have for you for the time being. Hope it helped you out. Anyway, cheers and take care.